It's Friday. You ain't got nothing better to do. Walk with me. Let's talk. Unlike most days, today's walk wasn't a solo one. My sweet baby girl decided to tag along. This week was filled with monumentous conversations with my children, and this walk is inspired by one of them. Each of them had a lesson to learn or an area where they needed to be affirmed, an issue that they just needed to be heard on. And I was so grateful to God that I'm still here to be able to stand in those places with them, able to hold space for them in whatever ways that they need. Being a multi-generational parent means that I have children in almost every stage of life. 2 that are closer to 30 than they are 20. 1 who's newly 21, and 1 who is just in the thick of being a teenager. Each of them has their own individual needs, preferences, likes, dislikes, strengths, and weaknesses. And each of them need a different or varying level of support from their mother. Even the 2 full-grown adults who live on their own. And I am thankful that God has given me the emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical ability to be that kind of support for them. But this week, one of my daughters had to stand in the gap for me, while another had to be a powerful voice in my life, in an area where I'm usually the powerful voice. She had the opportunity to not only demonstrate her own expertise gained through education, personal experience, and general wisdom, but she had to share it with her chest. And I had to be open enough and loving enough and honest enough with myself to recognize that I was in need of someone else's wisdom. My own was simply insufficient, and that was perfectly okay, as opposed to becoming defensive or being offended or viewing her outspokenness on a topic near and dear to both of our hearts as disrespectful or aggressive. And then trying to pull rank with a, I am the mother here. My job was to just listen, to not focus on the delivery, but on her heart for the matter, to give her passion the same level of respect that I prefer to receive when my tone is tinged with that same passion. I know firsthand just how frustrating it can be for the conversation to devolve solely because the person who should be listening is just not hearing you. Instead of hearing your heart on the matter, they've decided to deflect. They've taken a subjective stance instead of an objective stance. Instead of focusing on the truth of your words, they decide to be distracted by variables that don't change the facts. Typically, they're just as passionate about the subject as you are. But they've decided to allow your tone to fuel their desire to misunderstand. And for the first time in a long time, it was my turn. But this time, I had the pleasure of hearing one of my babies stand in her full, authentic power and be a powerful voice in my life. And all that was required was that I be willing to hear, see, honor, and respect her. To recognize her as a formidable and knowledgeable voice in that particular area. And to know that even if she was incorrect, she would never intentionally steer me or anyone else wrong because she has her mother's heart. And in that vein, with that spirit, I was able to hear her and see myself in the situation in a way that I never would have. When I was done crying and thanking God for allowing me to live to see the day when one of my children would be able to pull my coattail, be the voice of reason in my situation. And when I was done addressing the issue that she had provided me a new perspective on, I doubled back. I went back to my daughter and I said to her, thank you. Thank you for being a powerful voice in my life, for standing confidently and boldly in the power and wisdom that God has given you, and being bold enough to share it with me. Who are the powerful voices in your life? Who are the ones who speak truth to power and sometimes ruffle your feathers and perhaps make you a little uncomfortable? But in the end, you know that they've spoken truth with wisdom and love. Have you thanked them? Have you thanked God for them? Are they a piece of your heart walking around this earth? If so, embrace them, thank them, tell them that you love them. And pat yourself on the back because clearly you're doing a good job. If they've imparted wisdom and you failed to receive it, it's not too late, but remember that tomorrow is not promised. Please do not be too prideful to go back to them, honor them, and most importantly, affirm them. And then thank God for them. Thank God for having the wisdom to send them you and you them. And before you ask him for anything else, thank him for everything you already have.